Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins, bringing you another very special and very informative edition of Trends in the Housing Market, guys. So sorry for the late start. If you got my emergency broadcast I brought across, there was a gentleman behind my store in the snow, and it was snowing, wet snow, and I called an ambulance on him. He was responding, then he wasn't responding, then he was responding, then he wasn't responding, and then he's not doing too well, but the ambulance and the people will hopefully take care of him. So I had to wait till the ambulance arrived to pick that guy up. So I hope he's okay. I mean, it's very sad when you see people out in the street like that, just sleeping in the snow outside, and if they stay around much longer. If that guy stayed outside for 2 more hours, he would have died. So, it's sad. Okay, so we got Jason Dent in the comments. Gary Medeiros. We got AA. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me for this late start. I'm a few minutes late. Managed to get the show up and running in a good, decent amount of time. And still have dinner and play with my kids. Okay, guys, what's going on here? Lots going on, but my video purging is still happening, and it's targeting Australia. I know I've said this before, but it's really weird because when you go into my analytics, Australia used to be the most viewed country that would view my channel month over month for the last 2 years. And it dropped in watch minutes to like the 6th. Like it's Canada first, then USA, then UK, then New Zealand. Okay, and then Sri Lanka or something like that. Okay, no. It wasn't Sri Lanka. It was Indonesia, and then it was Australia. So my view count from Australia has went down 80%. So they're continuing to purge my Australia housing videos. I don't know why. I'm only reading articles. I'm bringing up ideas. I'm not offending anybody. I don't know why. It's a mystery to me. So hopefully we can get Steve on the show tonight. He's got Skype now. Okay, we got 8,588 subs, guys. I couldn't believe how fast my subscription base has been growing. I really appreciate that, guys. And all I'm going to ask for... Oh, PC Principal's here, thank God. I saw him in the comments today. Thank God he's here. All I ask to... If you want to donate to the channel, please just share one of my videos. It gets out there, and then other people might like some of my amateur stuff I do. It's very amateur what I do. It's not professional, but I'm just a down-to-earth guy. So let's go over some of the articles or some of the videos I made in the last couple of days. Very important ones. We did a housing crisis from a friend of mine who's up $1.5 million, who sold his house in... bought his house, in 2012 or 2010, 2012, sold it back at 2017 for $3.2 million, and he's up almost $2 million bucks. And now the owners of the house are asking him if he wants to buy the house back at a massive reduced rate. So we'll keep our fingers crossed with that. He'll be up. He just made like $1.8 million for just making 2 transactions. Australia recession on the per capita basis. We got an article open for this too. Australian is again this recession's happening on this per capita basis where people are borrowing more than what they could afford. Big problem. Eviction notice. Rent evictions happening, guys. You know, I've been talking about rent evictions in California. Sorry, not California. I'm sorry, California. In Nevada, Salt Lake, Utah. Arizona, New Mexico, and now it's happening in Texas and Georgia, where long-time renters, 10, 15 years renting, get kicked out and then renovate, which they really don't. They just air the place out, open a window for a day, and then just go ahead and say it's renovated. You know what I'm saying? And eviction notices are being handed out all over the Lower Mainland in Vancouver area, but it's not a new thing. It's been happening across the U.S. since the whole mass exodus of Californians, Portlandians, and Seattleites leaving their states. Back to the future, 2006 housing crash. So sales are back to 2006. Once sales go down, inventory shoots up. Every inventory spikes. We know this, guys, from the previous crashes we have. Okay, what else is going on? What else did I cover this week? They're going to fix the housing market, guys. This is a very important one. So if you haven't seen They're Going to Fix the Housing Market, you better watch it, because right now our bond yield is we're sitting at a bond is sitting at just a 1.9, 1.8. So it's down. It's going to give the banks a little bit of room to lower interest rates, which is very dangerous at this time. And also, they might move the stress test to 1% stress instead of 2. They might even do 0.5% on the stress test. And to top it all off, the third is they will be doing 30-year amortizations. So instead of paying your house off twice with interest, you're paying it off 3 times now with a 30-year amortization. Very dangerous waters we're headed to. Very dangerous. What else? I give a little brief description here on Tuesday here. When should I buy in the market? That's my opinion. And then I'm down 109,000 housing. So that's what's happening, guys. That's what I'm getting here. So that's what I've done this week. And then I did another thing. Oh, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for the views. I'm over 3 million views now. That means a lot to me. I just noticed that. Someone messaged me and said, dude, congrats on 3 million views, dude. I'm like, what? I go to check on my analytics. I'm like, holy crap, 3 million views. So that's pretty good. And yeah, okay. Trends in the housing market tonight. Jason Densey, I pay $325 a month for rent and have lived in the same apartment since August 2011. I really hope the housing market crashes before I get evicted. Well, Jason, are you getting some sort of are you feeling that there's going to be a rent eviction or what? And Kevin Thompson said, guys, prices are going up, bottom line. There's the real Kevin Thompson in the comments. He had to make another account because somebody stole his account, Kevin Thompson. Because Kevin Thompson's so famous, you have no idea. And PC Principal says, unless the banks get more scrutinization guarantees that they won't lower rates, they might even raise them. I know, the best thing in a normal housing, okay, in a normal economy, normal housing, everything's running at, wow, I got someone from Maryland calling me. Hello?
Hello, I'm Louis Thomas from ASD Inc., located at 729 St. Joseph, Suite 201,
Woo!
in Gatineau, Quebec, J8Y.
Woo!
Toll free 1-800-672-13.
Woo!
This will only take 30 seconds. We are doing a national study in Canada, and I will only ask one question. I have nothing to sell. In your home, do you have a phone line which is not a cell phone? If yes, please press 1. If you are a cell phone only household, press 2. To repeat the question, press 9. Thank you.
There you go. See that? I'll get some personal information off me. Okay. Securitization. Sorry, not scrutiny. LOL. You know I can't read, guys. Just relax. Plus, I'm doing this intermittent dieting thing. It's kind of killing me a bit. It's okay. I just ate. I feel better. Hopefully, I could hang off till. Hang in there till tomorrow. Speedy Biker 91 says, I have 2 more friends that are a couple that are moving to a new Liskeard, Ontario to start a new life because the crazy prices in the GTA. Yeah, where is Liskeard, Ontario? I gotta look this up. Is this spelling correct, buddy? See if the spelling's correct here. Where the hell is that? I lived in Ontario. I don't even know where the hell that is. All right, we're looking up a place in Ontario, guys. Let's see how far it is. Yeah, it is. It's right. Okay, where the hell is this place? I can't even tell from that map. I gotta go to here. Where the hell is this place? Let me zoom this right out. Holy smokeroos. That is north of Sudbury, north of North Bay. Wow. It's 2 cross streets. It's like my town. It's northeastern Ontario, Canada. It was created by the amalgamation of the town New Liskeard, the town of Haileybury, and the township of Diamond in 2004. The city had a total population of 9,920 in Canada in 2016. So it's growing. Wow. New towns popping up all over Canada. Oh, Christ. All right. Mario DeSetti's in the house. Mario, I got a place for you to move to, buddy. It's called Liskeard, Ontario. Liskeard, Ontario? I can't even pronounce that, man. Let's go to MLS. See how much a house is there. Should be under 50 grand for a house up there. MLS. Let's check this out, guys. There's probably a place in Canada for people that could flee the big city. Yeah, 26 grand, 32 grand, 41,000. All right, let me zoom it out a bit, make sure I'm in the right town. Yes, I am. Okay. Liskeard. Okay, so let's see what we got here. 59 grand, 4 bedroom. $159. 94 large. 85, 98. They're all detached homes too. Look at this big one. 79,000, 122. Oh, Mario's saying too much snow. Snowed in for 6 months of the year. Oh, well, with global warming on your side, you know, and Al Gore, basically. Okay, then go up to, like, Sault Ste. Marie. That's what I keep telling people. Sault Ste. Marie, man. 32 grand, 59 grand, 59, 69 grand, 70 large. Look at that, 86.5, a good starter home. 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Let's see what's up here. Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay is crazy, stupid expensive right now. I don't know why Thunder Bay. But when I was there, it was really Thunder Bay was really sketchy when I was up at Thunder Bay. Like, I just was scared to be around, you know? Everything's like 70 grand, 70, 70, 60, 70, 42. There's Murder Peg. But it's fine, but it's just when you get out to these places, when you get out to Vancouver, right here to Vancouver, it's like, are you out of your tree? You get here, okay? Here we go. A room and a bathroom, $389. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, $420. Let's see what the strata fee is on this damn thing. $420, right? A room. So it's a room. You get a room. You get an ensuite. Yeah, you get an in-suite washer and dryer. What is the strata? Oh, it doesn't give you the strata, eh? They're smart. 400 square feet. Oh, maintenance fees. 160. So about $200 a month for maintenance fees. Oh, it's on never mind. It's on East Hastings. Never mind. Just forget I just even brought that up. That's like pure. That's like Crackton. You ever watch The Simpsons when Lisa had to get off of the bus and she got off on Crackton? She wanted to get off on Crackton. Well, that's Crackton. Don't even bother. Let me find something that's like. Okay, here we go. There we go. Here, this is the area you preferably want to be in if you don't want to die. Here we go. 63 Kiefer. Right here. That's where I used to live. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. 1-bedroom, 1-bath. Okay, property taxes $1,500. It's strata fees. I want to see if they're what they are. $440 a month for strata fees. So that's like $448, about $5,000 a year for strata fees, and then including the property tax, you're looking at 7 large, and was built in 2000. And I know this building is falling apart because I lived in it, and no one was living in this building. It was me, 10 other tenants in the whole building, and 1 concierge. Everybody knew everybody because it was the same people. I would have like floor hockey tournaments in the hallway in my building because there was nobody there. It was all empty. Speedy Biker said, yeah, they have town supply. Location, located. It says Dom Dada. Well, we're in Vancouver, guys. Let's see. This is the best place in the planet, remember? So you're not going to get a house in Vancouver for under $2 million. So here's another one, 63 Keefe, 1-bedroom, 1-bath, $655. Same building. He bought at the top. This is the one on Taylor Street, like right across the street from where I used to live. Look at this, 848, 1-bedroom, 1-bath. And this is nothing special, guys. This is nothing special. This is this. Look, this is the picture. That's it. That's all they have. That. And that's it. The balcony. That's it. This is nothing special. 1 bed, 1 bath. Property taxes are $2,000 a year. And maintenance fees are almost $320 a month. Nothing special. You're probably thinking, Mike, that's got to be like really good areas. Like people pushing shopping carts all night long. You're sitting there in bed. You got your window open. Let some fresh air in. And all you hear is people pushing shopping carts all night long and yelling all night. Kevin Thompson in the oh, we got Peter Otzinger, Peter O in the comments. Dunal Gordon, I'm only getting half of the notifications on your channel, man, on your main channel. Yeah, you know what it is? See what it is I spoke to someone that worked for YouTube for like 7-8 years until he quit. Now he's working for something else in the tech industry, and he told me that he doesn't know my channel, but he knows. Okay, he knows my channel now, but he didn't know my channel when he worked for YouTube. But he told me that my channel is guaranteed in an undesirable like list. It's undesirable. They call it bad acting. They frown on vlogging now, unless you're a girl and you have a nose ring and gigantic, you know what. And unless you're doing that, they're not interested in like a fat guy like me that can't read talking about stuff. They're just not interested. They're just not interested in running commercials and ads on that. They call it bad acting. That's what they call it at, you know. Raven in the house. Dang 008 in the house. Kevin Thompson, again. Peter Otzinger, again. The Raven says, Mike, they probably consider you hate speech. Yeah. At the beginning of the show, guys, I don't know what's going on, but the #1 country that views my show, or that views my channel as a whole, is Australia. Like 20% higher than any other country in the world. First is Australia, second is Canada, then the United States, then the UK, and then New Zealand. Now, in the last month, all my Australia videos have been taken down. Like, not all, I still have some. But so many of them have been taken down that now it's Canada first, then the United States, and then the UK, then New Zealand, okay? And then Indonesia, and then Australia. I went from the most watched country that watches me, Australia, to the 6th most watched country under Indonesia, with like 1/10 or 1/10 of what I used to have in views. That's crazy, guys. Your comments are not grayed out. Interesting stuff. No, you're not. You're good. You're good. Interesting stuff. No one's grayed out. My channel's weird, guys. It's just, like I said, it's bad acting, and YouTube doesn't want that kind of crap anymore. Like, they want these, like, there's a girl that's doing, I'm not going to mention her name, but she's talking all of a sudden about the housing crisis in the last 3 months. and she's well endowed, and she's like, yeah, let's talk about the housing today, and the people looking to buy, you gotta kind of relax right now, the market. It's like, wow, you have 2 million views on this? You don't even know what the heck you're talking about. I thought I was bad, guys, not knowing what the heck I'm doing. I'm like Towley, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing, but her? What? I'm not bringing her down or anything, but it's just like, I think she's just reading out of newspapers and memorizing and stuff. What is this? Yeah. Okay, comments are going nuts. Someone says, ghastly home sales story on Zero Hedge. Yeah, I'll get to that right now. So, 848 large for a one-bedroom. So, I don't want you guys in the States, you know, especially like on the West Coast that live in Beverly Hills and Santa Barbara and places like that, right? Or West Palm Beach in Florida, saying, well, you know, Mike, it must be a really poshy area. No, you get quite a few shopping carts pass by in an hour. And from that corner there to the other corner at the end of the block, you probably get asked for change 6 times. Worse than South Park when they had that homeless pandemic in South Park. Worse. And I'm not exaggerating. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's go to over. So Australia's economy just entered recessions on a per capita basis. I covered that on my channel here, if you guys want to catch up on that. Some pretty good videos I put up in the last 2 days. And guys, once again, if you want to donate to the channel, just share one of my videos. That's it. Get me out there. Let's go to better. Someone told me to go to better dwelling. Let's go over some delinquencies in the markets that I'm seeing. Let's go over some quick delinquencies. Canadian debt delinquency on the rise. The worm is turning for the worse. Canadians are going broke, defaulting on basic loans. Economic headwinds threaten to dampen the outlook for Canada. Expect delinquencies rate to rise this year, says Equifax. Equifax is more a reliable source to me. Equifax and First Canadian are the most reliable because they actually update your credit bureaus on I think it's every 21 days they upgrade your credit bureau. They used to do it every month, and it's like every 21 days now. So in case you're credit seeking and you go somewhere else and they pull your credit and they're like, oh, wow, you haven't applied for a credit card in 8 years, but really on that day you called 13 places to credit seek, right? So, okay. We need to talk about seniors getting into trouble with home equity. That's another problem, guys. That's actually a very big problem because a lot of seniors borrowed. And you know those commercials at midnight? Are you over 65? Do you own your house? Well, we got a reverse mortgage for you. Enjoy your freedom, golfing, and enjoy being on the outdoors and really enjoy your retirement. Let's soak your house and take whatever we can out of it. And then if you expect in your life expectancy lasts 10 more years than you expected, well, you're going to be homeless. And that's what a lot of people are facing right now. Home ownership highest since 2014 for Q4 28 delinquency rate. Debunking the auto loan delinquency crisis. There's a huge delinquency crisis in the United States with 6 or 8 million delinquencies. Americans are struggling with their credit card debts, and 2 million people are behind. And right now, UK, and that's for the UK Insider. 7 states finished 2018 with 60-day delinquency rates above 1%. Mortgage delinquency at historic low in Hamilton, Ontario. Let's see what else we got here. U.S. student. See, I'm not a student, okay? That's why I can't read. I'm not a student. U.S. student debt in serious delinquency tops 166 billion. I don't even think North Korea has that much money. Yeah. U.S. student delinquency hits record. Oh, this one, guys. Watch out. Watch you out. Farm delinquency highest in 9 years as sales slump. That's scary. Because no one's going to bail out the farms. You think the governments are? go bankrupt. Oh, where's our food? Well, yeah. Let's say we get food stamps. Let's say they start mailing out food stamps to help us out because everything gets so expensive. But the farms are bankrupt. Who's producing the food? Oh, we'll just get it in from China. It's not milk, it's mulk. It looks like milk, it's white, but it's called mulk. Yep, interesting stuff. Says $10 an hour in Florida is like $18 in California. No way. $10 in Florida is like $27 in California. The buying power in Florida is huge. You could buy a beautiful house for under $200,000. Beautiful house. Oh, the red jug, old red's here. Kevin Thompson points that out in the comments. Car delinquencies. What else we got? Bankruptcies, loan delinquencies. Delinquency foreclosure rates in Australia. Auto loan delinquencies again. Let's type in delinquencies UK. Let's see what comes up. Pedophilia stuff. Seniors struggling to keep up with debt. Delinquencies rise again. The clock is ticking. U.S. consumer loans. Credit card debt ends at record major high. Americans racked up $807 billion in plastic. Wow. So delinquencies are up. Let's get it over to Zero Hedge. Someone told me that there's a really good article here. What a crock of S. Summarized Democrats, Amazon. I'm not going to get into that tonight. That's Mike in the Night, guys. Intelligent cryptocurrency investor. Okay. Trucking boom U-turns. Ghastly Vancouver. Here we go. Oh, let's see who this is. Hello?
My wife's invited to your wife's baby shower on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm live right now, dude.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, am I? Do you want me to talk about something?
Yeah, just tell us what's going on in the housing market in your area. Oh, or not your area. What's going on with housing? What are you seeing?
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Rex Cohan. And, yeah, Mike's, he's a good friend of ours. His wife's having a baby shower. He invited my wife, so that's what I was calling. But I just want to let you know that there are some people that are investing in the outer communities of BC, like away from the Fraser Valley. And I heard that these communities, these prices are going up, but some people say those prices are going to go down. I don't know what to believe. I do know in Vancouver the prices have dropped 10% year over year in January.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the Fraser Valley starting to go down.
Kelowna is just in a tailspin of a downward spiral. Kelowna is bringing down the benchmark average for the whole province.
What? You're kidding me.
Kelowna, yeah. Yeah, look it up right now. Look.
Kelowna's going down?
It's going down faster than a cold day in December. Watch.
Holy shit! That means Kelowna was overinflated.
Yeah, watch.
And you can get a better price. Like Okanagan Lake, I understand it's cool, but we got Nicola Lake here in the Nicola Valley. You got Shuswap Lake in Salmonar.
Here we go. Right. Look, Kelowna. It calls for 80% of new housing to be built. Kelowna's shift in housing supply is not supported by the market demand, so they're building up all these extra houses. Kelowna moves to 6th most expensive rental market in Canada. BC government to stop payday loan gouging. Kelowna retailers to appear in CBS reality show. So what else is here? Yeah, Kelowna is in a huge tailspin. It's down 28 to 30% right now.
Shit.
Yeah, watch your mouth. Well, watch your language. I'm gonna get flagged, dude.
What's gonna happen up here in the Nicola Valley, Merritt and the outer communities?
Well, Merritt's not even expensive to start, so we'll see probably a 15 to 20% drop. But nothing super crazy, massive, You know what I mean, right?
Well, well, another thing I want to talk about is new housing. So I'm on the phone with two construction companies. There's, I bought that acreage up on the hill, right?
Yeah, guys, Rex Cohan bought, I don't know, how many acres did you buy?
10 acres.
He picked up 10 acres of land. I'm going to start a video series. I'm going to go there and film it from beginning to start. He wants to do something semi-off-grid with a well and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. And also grow some kind of vegetable. Like, I do want to make those acres like revenue generating.
Yeah. So maybe we could grow hemp or something to make paper and stuff.
Yeah, and also, like, what's that heating called? Like, it's away from the house, and you put a log in it and it burns and heats up hot water. Like, it's like it's semi off the grid. That electric will be backup. But anyways, I'm phoning these housing companies. You know what? For a 2,000 square foot home, they want $400,000.
$400,000.
To build here for a 2,000 square foot home. I'm like, I don't want to invest $400,000 in a new house in Merritt. Like think about it. Like, I think there's a market for homes here for the smaller towns from 100,000 to 400,000. I know there's a market. People are coming in, they're willing to take that mortgage. If my lot was $200,000 and the home's $400,000, that's a $600,000 home cost in, right? The market for homes between $400,000 and $800,000, you have to be very well to do in Merritt in a small community, right? You're not gonna earn that money like working in a one person might be working in a mine, but you need two good incomes to afford that kind of home. Plus, if you want children,
Yeah, and the thing is, remember we priced out the same type of house? Remember?
Yeah.
And the same type of house to build in Florida with poured concrete instead of drywall, poured concrete, and with an orange clay roof. We priced out a house, came out to $67,000 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the? So I know that market's, there is a market for it, but you have to be very, very well to do. Anything over $800,000 in this area, I've seen a home that's listed for 1.3 in the Sunshine Valley. Like, are you kidding me? Like, who the hell is going to buy that home?
Does it come with like 200 acres of land?
No, it's like on 1 acre, but it's a really good home. It's like you look at it, it's like one of those it's a really posh home, actually.
Does it come with a ton of gold underneath it or something? Does it come with a ton of gold in the bedroom?
Actually, you know what? It's just fucking gonzo. Like, I can't believe it. I don't know who can buy it. Like someone has to be really rich, retired, something like that to come to Merritt to pick that up. Like,
no, it's getting. You know what? You're gonna start seeing the complete 180. So just give it some time, buddy. Just give it some time. Anyways, listen, we'll talk after the show when I'm done.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, if you want me to come and help out too that night, give me a call. That's all I was calling you about.
No, I don't know what I'm doing that night. I don't know if it's going to be an all-girls thing. I might get out of the house.
Okay, I might come to your store then.
No, I don't know. No, I'm not going to be working that day. Maybe you could come pick me up and take me somewhere. Take me to a bar and get me drunk.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to let you know one more thing. What's going on in this whole thing with the elections in the United States? That Hillary Clinton said now that she's probably not going to run for 2020.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so she's out, and I think Trump has a clear shot again, but with the Mueller case closing, and I heard that it's not going to be that incriminating for Trump. So the Democrats are starting to dig up other things now, like his tax
they're
return.
always going to find something. Nowadays people are nowadays live in a society where they just make up stuff to be pissed off at, and that's it.
Yeah. So now they're looking at other things. Like, they really want to nail this guy. Like, the only way Trump won't win is if they find something slightly incriminating, or they pull up some like BS kind of BS impeachment kind of scenario.
They should let the people from The View run the country for a year and let it crash and then push the reset button.
Yeah, so that's another thing I want to talk about. I think that's that direction, but I don't know. Like, I'll talk to you maybe on Saturday on your show.
Yeah, Mike in the Night. Okay, dude, you have a good night. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. Bye.
Bye.
So, guys, that's Rex Cohan, 2-time world champ. And, he picked up 10 acres of land here in Merritt and sold this place in Vancouver. So now he got a place. It's a nice place, nice land, a nice distance from the town, too. It's a good distance. It's not far. And he's just looking to put a house. But everywhere he's going, they're quoting him like these ridiculous amounts of money to build a 2x4 framed, I think it's a non-poured concrete, like just non-poured foundation, just like a wood frame house. They're asking like ridiculous $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 for a 2-bedroom, 3-bath. It's like, what? Kevin Thompson, how much did he pay for the land? I think he paid like under $200,000 for it, for 10 acres. Then interesting stuff says, the globalist MSM gets everyone worked up over things to take their minds off the fact that the country is going broke. That's very true. I think I should get interesting. I pretty much had everybody on the show except the Raven, Real Kevin Thompson. You guys add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. And if you guys ever want to come on the show, I need everyone that comments here to at least come on the show one time. Come on the show at least once. Just one time. Contribute what you know, what you think, what's happening at least once. You know? Okay, so someone sent me this. Copper. It's somewhat holding steady, I guess. Oh, it took off. January. It's been on an uptick, eh? Copper. Okay, where were we? Ghastly Vancouver home sales crashed by 33%, lowest since 1985. Man, isn't that the year Back to the Future came out? Or was that 84? On Monday, the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver reported results that it could be classified as ghastly. Ghastly? With residential home sales plummeting 32.8% year over year to 1,484 units. That's the lowest February sale since 1985 AD. And 42.5% below the 10-year average. So in 2018, they sold a bit more. 2019, it's down huge. Wow. Look at this chart, guys. Let me zoom this in. Man. This looks like someone on a honeymoon that forgot the Viagra. Look at that. Whoa. It's like an old timer on a honeymoon without Viagra. Look at that. So we're going back. We're going back inside. Oh, we got Anthony here. Thank God he's here. Thank you, God. Yo, man. Are you there?
Mike, how's it going?
Good. How are you, my brother?
Oh, great. Just following the markets the past few days, some new changes, and how about yourself?
You know how it is. I'm just chilling out, closing a million. I get all these fake, what do you call them? Notifications on my thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just gotta just close them all. They're gonna keep coming up. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what's new with you, man? What's happening in downtown Detroit?
Oh, preparing my trip. I mean, I guess I'll tell you where I'm going and what I'm looking for and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm headed to Panama in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be kind of observing the contagion effects from Venezuela and just talking to some Venezuelans and things and talking to some locals that are developing the agriculture there in Panama. Because I think that there's a whole ignoring of how the contagion is blowing into the whole region.
Mm-hmm.
And then, go ahead.
Is there any chance you could cover that for me?
Oh, Yeah, we'll talk about that through Skype, before that, and we'll figure out the best way to do that.
Yeah, because if we could go, if even if it's not my live times, we could just do a pre-recorded show too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could pre-record it. It doesn't have to be those times. You could just message me, and I could say wherever I'm at, I could be okay. You know what? Go ahead and open your Skype, show us what's going on, and I'll just record a video and then just upload it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might prepare something on Latin America as a whole. I mean, I did that Argentina bit before that G20, and then there's more I could talk about that too, with like the continued degradation down there, and road to collapse is any week now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fascinating time in Latin America. I'll tell you, there's no escaping this downturn. That's the depressing thing here.
Do you think that the Latin American slump, or the Latin America, let's say, the theft of Latin America, if you want to put, I don't know, whatever way you want to put it, do you see it sparking a very big international conflict, like a bigger war or a big, do you see it sparking something bigger than it should?
Well, it's kind of chaotic, but I think that we're not really told who the parties are in this. We're told there's this team and that team, but it's more cloudy than that.
Mm-hmm.
We're told it's Team Maduro versus Team Trump. And the whole thing there is that the media is clearly contradicting itself on that issue with the White House and how the CIA is handling this, because they claim that Trump, for example, is pro-Russia, pro-Russia, pro-Russia. He's working for them. Yet supposedly in Venezuela, he's opposing Russia, and we're all applauding him by that. And his biggest applauders of that are the Democrats. His actions in Venezuela. So everything is so contradictory everywhere. Who do you know who's on what team and what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. We'll have you. We got to keep you on the pulse so we know what's going on, for sure. So what's happening? Can you elaborate? Remember last week you were on the show, and you told me that you were getting threats from people when you're doing appraisals for homes or stuff.
Oh no! Threats from appraisals?
No, you were getting threatened by something. What was it?
Oh, just some disgruntled people from your channel or something.
From my channel were threatening you?
Yeah.
Who?
It was like a tit for tat. I don't want to say on here because it's like, I think it's behind us. That's about it. Yeah. Huh.
Oh.
Threats.
Okay, that's. I thought you meant you were doing appraisals and stuff, and people were getting mad at you because they weren't getting the. Do you get that where people get mad at you because the appraisal comes back lower?
Yeah. I mean, it's a cause of friction sometimes in general in appraisals. Friction between realtors, things like that. Yeah. But as of recently, yeah. I mean, maybe there's more cuts recently. The market is kind of rolling over, but no threats. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think? Where do you see things happening in the next quarter? We're approaching the end of Q1 here. In a couple of weeks.
Can I have you pull up a stock symbol?
Huh?
Then put it on the display.
A stat symbol?
A stock symbol.
You want to put it up? You want to put it in the link there for me?
Yeah, I'll let you put this in there. ITUB.
Okay, it's on the NYSE.
Yeah. You pull up the 6-month one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, and pull up a 6-month, and then I'm not looking at your screen, but
yeah, I got it 6 months open. Yeah.
Okay, great. Notice that December 26th, we've got that major low, coinciding with the U.S. one,
Yeah.
and then the hysteria into the 1st of February, and now complete breakdown. So, I think the whole celebrating Brazil's right-wing turn is it's fizzling out quickly, and this whole run-up from January to February was a hemisphere-wide thing and kind of a global phenomenon where we celebrated things that weren't going to materialize. And this same chart is happening in Argentina.
Okay, so I'm at ITUB. It's at $9.11. It dropped 16 cents today. Hello? Connection. There is a poor network connection. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you okay?
Oh, yeah. Did you hear any of that? Or
Yeah, no, you cut off. You said I got ITUB that's at $9.11. Is that correct?
yeah, and if you go to the
Yeah, I got the 6 months open. Hello? Anthony? We're losing Anthony here, people. Is it my Skype? Or what is it? Let's give him a chance here. Another chance here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. So I got the 6 months open here, and you can see it from the bottom, and it's kind of trekking upwards. Oh no, it died again. Guys, nobody panic, please. We're having internet disruptions. It could be bad weather in Detroit. Not sure what the weather is out there today, but oh, okay. What's going on here? Steve didn't buy. That was funny last week. Steve, Kevin playing games. All right, can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I got the 6 months open right here.
Yeah, and I'm showing you kind of the euphoria that happened in January. That was just the euphoria hyped on a president that was going to fix everything.
Mm-hmm.
One man is going to come in and somehow control the whole Congress and ignore the huge imbalances given to him by the left, ignore the drug war, ignore the whole global Latin American debt issue. Was just because we got a new president, and that just shows the level of fraud we're celebrating by Bloomberg and the cable news networks. And then that's something to watch. And that's that January rally that took up U.S. markets as well as Canadian ones and Australian. It just seemed like the worst investments were making the biggest rally. Did you notice that one?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I mean that's what was the opinion given by Danielle Park from her market updates she always gives. Always great analysis there. And do you ever listen to Peter Schiff?
Sometimes I do, but his podcasts are over an hour long.
Oh, right. It's always something to have on background and then, not dedicate the hour to it, but it's all interesting. He really breaks down the politics of the economy, the debt, and the bipartisanship and this and that. And it debunks a lot of the lies we're being told.
Mm-hmm.
He can criticize a leader for real reasons based on economics and not the constant nonsense we're distracted with, I think.
Yeah.
So that's definitely worth looking at for anyone on here that is looking for more economic analysis from a balanced approach that's not going to be pro, partisanship. I'm just looking at the comments here. Yeah, they said Peter Schiff is a broken record. Yeah, he likes his metals. He's definitely pro metals. I don't necessarily agree with him on that. What do you think about gold bugs, Mike?
Huh?
What do you think about gold bugs?
What do I think about gold in general?
Oh yeah, just people hyping gold. Is this the time?
Well, there's people going to be hyping everything, right? There's even people hyping certain stocks, but gold, there's not too many gold stackers because a lot of people, I guess, missed the boat for gold many years ago. Unless they bought, what was it, in 89 or 87 when gold went down? I can't remember when it really went down and everybody bought in. But gold is not too much of a very popular. It's not too very popular because it's just too expensive to stack. A lot of people are still after the silver.
Right.
Yeah. People are, is gold going to go up? Sure. Is gold undervalued? Yes. Is silver undervalued? Severely. If we compare it to how much currency is out there and how much is in derivatives, oh man, gold is worth a fortune in a reality, in a real market. It's worth a fortune because our currencies are devalued, right? Severely devalued, right? So
right. And then the gold bugs, they seem to be like dollar doomsdayers where they just think that everyone's going to sell the dollar and be confident in something else and create an alternative. Mm-hmm. But remember, like the spearheads of that were like Nicolas Maduro and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening to his country?
Maduro's falling apart at the seams.
Right, and remember his whole cryptocurrency? He was going to.
Yes, the crypto oil, the oil backed by crypto. Yes.
He's like another AMTV, pretty much.
Yeah, but AMTV, well, technically AMTV should be in World War 4633.
Yes, and his voice in his head that he thinks is God was the one leading him into all this.
Yeah, because every week the world's ending and you have to buy a survival kit and a bug out bag from him.
Who follows that guy?
Lots, like almost like 600,000 people follow him.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Because he says, I mean, he's like, oh, I just got done lying to you all, and I just got back from church with God. It's like, yeah, okay. Oh.
I made a few of those videos, but I was really at church.
Was that?
I've made a few church videos, like where I'm leaving church, but I actually was at church.
Yeah.
But he's in his Maserati, right? And apparently makes fun of people that don't dress well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He might make fun of me because my clothes fit me.
Mm-hmm.
And that he obviously doesn't like it when clothes fit.
Yeah.
But
PC Principal signing off, guys. PC Principal, thanks for joining us. He's always in the comments on my videos, joining us for live stream. Okay, continue. Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah, I'll just come back with a better update of the Latin American contagion because
yeah, come back on Mike in the Night. Throw something together. Find out what's happening with the whole Falcon and Maduro running for the election, and then this guy comes out of nowhere and just gets elected president from not even being on the pollsters or on the ballot.
It's a fun puppet show. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. God bless you.
Later.
Good night. That is Anthony from downtown Detroit giving us a little bit of an update on what's going on with some of the markets here. Okay, we are Kevin Thompson, arguably probably one of the most important guys you'll ever know in your life. He has a condo in Oakville, Ontario. I mean, they could make a whole movie about that condo in Oakville, Ontario. It's got so much going for it. Yeah. So much. Okay, Vancouver home sales crashed by 33%. So sales, not housing market. The sales are crashing. So remember that, guys. So what happened to supply and demand? If you don't buy now, you're never going to own anything. Whatever happened to those losers? Oh, they changed it around. Oh, now is the time to buy. It looks like prices are going down. It's affordable again. Here, let me call the 700 people that I've collected phone numbers and names and addresses for over the last 10 years and told them they couldn't afford to buy, and now maybe they might be able to buy. I love those guys. Oh, you're not going to open it. You're never going to own anything. Ooh. If you don't buy now, you'll always be bought out of the market. Oh, God, help me, please. Long history of U.S.-Russian meddling. Oh, God, really? Okay, guys, I don't know if you know that story I brought up. You're going to see oil go all over the place in the next couple of weeks. Sit tight. Fasten your seatbelts. I know we're talking about housing tonight, but oil's going to go nuts because Libya opened its biggest oil facility. Just reopened yesterday. So it's going to be really interesting once they start putting $4 billion of oil on the market. What's going to happen with the price of oil? Woo! Interesting stuff says, I may not own anything, but I have no debt and $1 million for retirement at 53, so I'm not losing any sleep. That's good. Anon says, Russians are so dodgy. They are so dishonest and lie profusely. Steve the Plumber saying, Kevin Thompson, are you eating those weed cookies tonight? Ah, Stevie Weevy. Stevie, can you turn on your Skype? It says you're on timeout here. I need to talk to Steve. I need to find out what the heck is going on. I need to talk to Stevie, my man Steve. Yeah, Canadian oil is gonna look pretty interesting in the next couple of quarters with that oil coming on the market. All right. Let's go back to what we're talking about here. So, we were talking about per capita basis. I covered that. So people in Australia are borrowing to eat, is what it is. They're not borrowing to buy more stuff. They're just borrowing to eat. And per capita basis recession, very interesting thing. There's nothing here. So that's another thing, guys. Let's go over some better dwelling articles. Canadian banks hold less mortgages than a year before for the first time ever. That's record-breaking right there. Greater Vancouver real estate sees biggest drop and fewest sales since 2009. Toronto real estate has the worst February sales since 2009. When it hits 2006, 2007, oh, we know. Canadian mortgage growth prints slowest January since 1983. This week's top story, delinquencies on Toronto and Vancouver real estate rise, and so do mortgage and HELOC payments. So, HELOC payments are going up because rates, obviously, if they go up or people borrow more against their house, their payments will eventually just have to go up. The more you borrow to eat dinner, the more you're going to have to pay back. So we're looking at this apartment here in Vancouver. This is a really interesting one, guys. Hold on, I got a few Australia ones with a couple of headlines here we should cover, actually. Facebook, let me see. Per capita recession I covered. Yeah, I covered that. There we go. Commonwealth Bank and Westpac continuous on using AI for compliance. So now what they're doing, I guess they're getting the system set up so artificial intelligence. Oh, the Australian trial. The trial last year found the system could be deconstructed regulations with a 95% accuracy rate better than humans. My God, you telling me you need AI to actually manage risk level? Are you friggin' serious? Are you out of your tree? You telling me a good branch manager can't look at the application, can't look at the underwriting, can't look at the TDS, CGS, and can't look at a deal and a credit and the credit bureau and determine if it's a high risk? You actually need AI to tell you if it's a high risk? Technology to be considered more broadly after successful proofs of concept despite the mood of risk aversion and caution at the organizations following the Banking World Commission. So it's being driven by artificial intelligence. I wouldn't trust that. I mean, if it's my money I'm lending out, I'm not going to let AI determine the risk factor of lending this guy money. That is the dumbest thing. I don't get it. You're telling me a good branch manager. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because I went into the branch the other day. Remember, guys, I wanted to take a HELOC on this house because I own a free and clear for $39,000 because I wanted to buy or $36,000 because I want to buy a retail, a commercial building in town, and the building's cheap. It's like $97,000, right? So I needed a little bit more money to hold me over and do renovations and stuff, right? So when I went in, the lady taking my application or information had no idea what she was doing. And she's like 50. I'm like, lady, you don't know how to take a mortgage app? Are you friggin' serious? So let me ask you guys this. Would you depend on artificial intelligence to do the numbers for you if you're lending out your own money? Would you let AI determine the risk for you if it's your money? I would never do that. If I had my own branch, I would look over every deal before it gets sent up for final approval, before the underwriter final approvals. I'll look at it. We'll look at the TDS. We'll look at the income. We'll look at the credit. We'll find out why there's any delinquencies. We'll do our own work, right? We'll see what the risk factor is, what puts him in, what specific risk factor is again, what interest rate can we give him at his risk factor, and then we do it like that. That's how we do it. That's how you work as a team. That's the whole purpose of having a branch. But when you're using artificial intelligence to determine who qualifies for what without really, looking in and asking questions outside of the application. Yeah, see, Interesting Stuff has a good comment. He's saying, if investment advisors or bankers knew so much, how come they have to go to work every day with the rest of us? Yeah. Brianna's saying, heck no, Mike. No, AI is dumb, says Briggs. What's the word in Toronto these days? I don't know. Let's get Steve the plumber on. Where is he? Let me see if he's on. I hope he didn't get arrested this time.
Hello.
Who the hell is this?
Who the hell is this?
Steve, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, surviving, trying to live the dream.
Good for you. Good for you. So what's going on the ground, buddy? What can you tell us? Any more foreclosures or what?
That's always going to be the case. We get a lot on the go. You can't see me, can you, Mike?
No.
Okay. I'm still trying to get the gist of this whole Skype thing, but yeah, there's foreclosures are happening every week. We haven't really increased the amount of foreclosures we're getting, but we sure as heck have not decreased. It's definitely there. It's alive and well, and there's people that just can't make it, and they're overstretched and living well beyond their means, and eventually, sooner rather than later, things just force them out of the house. They default.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that a lot of people were. I mean, who do you blame for this, Steve? Be honest. Do you blame the consumer for not knowing what he's doing, or do you believe the banking institution for basically lying to them? And it's not that the institution is purposely lying. The institution knows really well, hey, this guy's going to default in 6 months. Like, you don't need AI for that. I could tell you right now if someone's going to default in a year or 6 months on a mortgage.
Right. The Raven. Yeah, Toronto housing market is absolutely declining. Let's just get that straight. He asked that question in the comments section. But that said, Mike, I think it's important to understand that the banks are at fault to a certain degree. But we have to remember something, Mike. House prices went up 20 and 30% year over year. Okay. And let's not be mistaken. Wages did not go up 20 and 30% year over year. So how did all these people qualify for all these mortgages?
Well, they didn't, because wages didn't catch up to to what the housing was worth, right? Or nowhere near. It's like in some cities it's 18 months, 18 years of savings to put a down payment down.
That's right. So when you look at the big picture and you say to yourself, okay, the banks, two things happened here. Either the banks overlooked the situation and basically got greedy, which I do believe. And they were lending instead of at 3 or 4 times one's combined household income, whether that be Mr. Smith on his own or Mr. and Smith as a married couple, for that fact. If they're going outside the lending, if there's relaxed lending, regulations, and they were stretching that from 3 or 4 times one income to 5, that's obviously a big concern. But we have to also be true to the fact that that didn't happen on very many things. I guess it only happened to select few that could, had potential of earning more or had some investments or something along those lines to offset it.
Yeah.
We're dealing with mass amounts of bad loans, and loans just ultimately not going to, ever be paid off. And now they're basically becoming bad loans because of mortgage fraud. That's what's happened here. It's not because house prices have gone down. It's because they couldn't afford it to begin with. They were unqualified buyers.
Yeah, right from the go.
From inception. That's the reason why we have the stress test. It's not just because they're stress testing people on future rates. That's not the only reason. The other reason is they're trying to safeguard the situation.
Well, did you watch my video? It's kind of important. It's the one that they're going to fix the housing. It's called "They're going to fix the housing market."
Yes, I did.
But you see how there's 3 things they could do. They extended it to 30-year amortization. They could, because bond yields are at a 1.9% right now, they could move rates down. And because, what's the other one? I said, was that, yeah, and they could drop interest rates down. And there was one more I added to that. It was 3 factors in that video that I discussed that could happen, that could and move the stress test to 0.5% instead of 2%.
Well, keep in mind, OFSI makes that decision. They're only going to get a certain amount of, direction from the government to do certain things, but they work independently. They as much as they are very much so, government regulated and whatnot, if you will, but they're a separate entity altogether because they are ultimately the watchdog. They are the financial watchdog.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's banking, what do you call it? Banking confidence in Australia is below 10% right now. Like, no one trusts any banks in Australia right now with what the Royal Commission found. Royal Commission went in there as just above the banks and kind of went through their files or went through what they did. Lots of garbage. What do you think they'll find in Canadian mortgages if they actually set up like a Royal Commission in Canada to investigate what the banks have been up to? Do you think they'll find a lot of garbage on the book, Steve?
I think they already have. In actual fact, I know for a fact CIBC has a huge problem right now with all the loans that they gave out to foreign buyers. And for your listeners, whether they're live right now or they're going to listen to this on rebroadcast, CIBC was giving no income verification loans, mortgages out to foreign buyers as long as they had 30 or 35% down. In other words, as long as you had 30% skin in the game, they were giving you the mortgage.
You know what, Steve? I have 70% down to put down to buy my building, and I own my house free and clear, and they won't give me the $36,000 I need.
Well, it's funny. Did they do an assessment? Did they do an appraisal on the building?
Did the bank do it? No, they're not going to do an appraisal because I can't secure the rest of the financing.
Okay. So obviously they've looked at your credit situation.
Yeah, my credit score is actually 799, 798. No gaps on file, no previous bankruptcies. The thing is, I just have no debt. It's just like one paper in my credit thing, and I have no inquiries. Like, I have one inquiry from like a long time ago when I bought my Corvette, I had one inquiry. Then I had another inquiry for some cell phone company. I don't know why they pulled my credit, even though I bought my phone free and clear and no contract. They still pulled my credit, but I have no inquiry, Steve. So I'm not credit seeking, right?
Okay, so there's two things that's happened here, Mike. First things first, you're drawing dead because you are self-employed. But if you could get around that, and they said, okay, yeah, he's self-employed. They want to see 2 years of strong financials.
Yeah.
And regular deposits going into the account, but more importantly, your credit score. As much as it may be 790 and extremely high, there's nothing really to rate you at in terms of how you, handle credit in terms of trade lines. And I think we went over this in the summer, actually. So you could have a mortgage, you could have an auto loan, and then you have revolving credit, like a credit card. Okay, those are the three main, trade lines with respect to a credit bureau. And if you have none of those, or you only have one credit card, yeah, sure, you can pay your credit card off, or whether you buy coffee with it, or you buy dinner or whatever it may be, and you can pay it off every month. But they're looking at it as there's nothing really to evaluate how you handle credit. Now, it would be a different story if you had a $30,000, $50,000 credit card and you were making purchases with it for your business and then paying it off every month. Yeah, they'll see that.
I do have a credit card for the store, and I do anywhere from 2 to 6,000 a month in orders and pay it back at the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, and what's
but
the
that's
value?
for the corporation. It's not me.
Is it a corporate credit card?
Yeah.
See, that's the whole thing. So ultimately, they're guaranteeing that. The best thing you could actually do, Mike, will they give you a home equity line of credit?
No.
They will not.
No. Anything that involves small businesses, banks have been asked to back off.
Okay.
Because I talked to the banking manager and I asked her, I go, what's the deal? Or why can't I just, she goes, you know what? There's a lot of people coming in for small business loans. They own houses, and the banks are just not doing anything. They don't want to touch it anymore.
Well, that is very true, because at the end of the day, they cease to exist based on the strength of their business. And in actual fact, when you're self-employed, you are the business. That's how they look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different if you are, you have multiple employees, and they'll look at your revenue stream. They're going to want to look at your payroll, so on and so forth. In other words, if Mike Martins has 10 people working for him, and all of a sudden Mike Martins gets sick, or Mike Martins can't work, or something along those lines, does his business run with him not there full time? That's their biggest concern.
Well, it's a retail store. All I have to do is train someone to use the cash register. It's not that hard,
I understand, but do you have that person in place now?
Well, no, because it's my thing, right?
So they can't grade on, they can't lend on, he'll just do this if something goes on. They look at the whole picture, and then they make a decision. And they would rather go ahead and give that loan to somebody working at, basically Tim Hortons, before they gave that to you. I kid you not.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it 100%. I always knew even when I bought my house, they wouldn't finance me, so I bought my house free and clear. I had no choice. I had to pay my house in full or I didn't get a house. I even offered to put 50% down. They said no.
Right. So, and Mike, you also have to remember it's a commercial building, right? It's very, very hard to sell a commercial building versus a residential house in a subdivision.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Have to secure their position, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But I want my place so I could work out of it, right, and just do my thing, right? But
that's right.
That's the only thing I know right now, Steve. Is what I know how to do, right? And I've been doing it for so many years, right?
Yeah, but I mean, with respect to the Raven, he just said it perfectly. Banks are tightening up credit.
Yeah, they are.
They're absolutely tightening up credit to the point of no return.
And Low Roller Scratcher saying, Mike Martins, you need to be in debt on purpose. Maybe I'll just get a $5,000 credit card and buy some stuff and then pay it off slowly or something like that. Because I don't even have a personal credit card.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, what you could do is you could go get an auto loan too.
I don't need another car.
You could put you can put an auto loan on your existing car, Mike.
Oh, I see what you're saying, and then pay that off. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Keep it for three to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is going to sound very, very funny, but let it report to the bureau for 3 to 6 months, and then all of a sudden pay it off. And yes, it will cost you money on interest, but the money that you're paying on interest, ultimately, you're paying to get a track record as a good creditor. That's ultimately what you're doing.
Yeah. Did I tell you this story about when my friend took his when me and a friend of mine took one of his very expensive cars down to New York?
Okay.
I want to tell you this story. It's actually a good one. So guys, listen to this. Me and a friend of mine, we drove to Manhattan, and he had a very expensive sports car. And we got there. He goes into one of the First National Bank of America, or I can't remember what it's called, First Bank of America or something like that, and applies for a $5,000 high risk loan and high interest rate. And he says, yeah, I'm going to put my car for collateral. You could take it. So they took the car, put it in storage, lent him the $5,000. And we just went, did some clubbing, checked out a few places. Just meet up with some girls and stuff, just hang out, do our thing for like 4 days. Then like, okay, we're going to go back home. So we go back to the bank and say, okay, I'm here to pay back the loan. Paid back the loan. And he paid the interest, the difference on it and stuff. And the guy brought the car back out and said, it took about an hour, got the car back out and said, sir, you have good credit. You got a lot of money. Why would you come and borrow $5,000 from us at a very high risk? And, why wouldn't you just use your own money? You know what my friend said? He turned around and looked at the guy at the bank and said, sir, where am I going to get $86 parking in New York City for 4 days? You like that one?
I like that one. I like that one.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, this is why this guy's got such an expensive sports car. It's because he's smart. He knows how to work the system.
That's hilarious.
It is, but it's true. Where can you in downtown Manhattan in a really, really, really poshy, high end high traffic area? Parking's like, it's like I see some places there for $14 an hour, dude. So. Anyway, so we got Matt Guy says banks don't like lending to people who can pay off things fast. They would rather lend to more risky people who take longer as they can make more off the interest and refinancing.
There's something actually to be said about that. I know banks, from a mortgage standpoint, if you own more than, there's two parts to the story. If you own more than 51% majority share of the house, in other words, if you've mortgaged 49% and you have a 51% down payment, they will scrutinize that deal right, left, and center. Do you want to know why, Mike?
Why?
Because in order to call that mortgage, they have to sue you.
Oh, so they got to take legal action then.
They have to sue you.
Oh.
They would have to basically grossly inflate their legal bills, this, that, and everything else in order to be majority share, regain majority share of the house,
mm-hmm.
in order to pop the house.
Yeah, we got One Man's Way in the comments. I'm glad to see he's in the show. He's in the comments. I haven't had him in the comments in a while. Hope he's doing well. Anon's in the comments too. Real Kevin Thompson. Steve, I know you and Real Kevin Thompson are really good friends, so...
Yeah, we went to separate schools together, Mike.
Yeah, went to separate schools together. Yeah, we're from the same planet.
Let's not get crazy now. I think he's a special individual.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
interesting stuff has something there. It says, before I went to school and I was traveling around, I would buy a train ticket, put my stuff on the train, miss it by a few minutes, and get a free ride and pick up my stuff at the other end for free. Nice.
okay.
Johnny Blazo says, I'm here, Mike. And we got Real Kevin Thompson's eating up the comment section there tonight. He's really trying to tell people that prices are still going up, Steve. Do you think if they lower interest rates, you might see the balloon reinflate? No, they won't. You know what? This is what I'm going to tell you what I think. I think it won't, because the average Canadian just doesn't have the money. And with the capital flows of China not coming in regularly like it used to, and laundering through casinos, I think it's done. It's over. It's a sinking ship.
Yeah, not to mention, we spoke about this recently. I believe it's August 1st. The Chinese government's trying to pass further capital outflow laws so that you can only get $12,000 a year.
That's only for Canada, though.
Only for Canada, yeah. That's only for Canada. I get it. So I mean, it's going to go from 50 to 12K. They're panicking. They're absolutely panicking. So,
but if you're like, let's say in a secluded place in Mexico, $12,000 a year is actually not that bad.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
I like how you replied to that. Yeah, but no. But in Canada, I think you could burn through that in a month.
Yeah, a month or two for sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's depending on what they, depending on what their spending habits are. I mean, they definitely love the malls and the high-end shopping. That's for sure.
Saying the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, is tracking down their citizens abroad and forcing them to sell up.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And some of them are actually walking away from their mortgages right now.
Yeah.
Especially with CIBC, because we've seen house prices come down 30 and 40% in Richmond Hill, Markham. That's a very predominant Asian community, and house prices up in York region have taken a beating, an absolute beating. So to answer your question, I'm a firm believer that the only way that house prices will continue or stop declining and start basically to go back up again is they're going to have to do some really, really, really good quantitative easing. They're going to have to entice buyers. It's basically, we are going to see a massive reset. We're going to see house prices come down even further. I estimate that they're going to stay stagnant once they get down to a level, for a little while, and then all of a sudden it's going to be 1996 all over again, and they're going to have some sort of quantitative easing. Do I think that they're going to come back with 0 down or 5% down? I don't know. I don't see 0%. That's for sure.
Steve, I got a few things on the hook for you if you're interested. I got this beautiful 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo in East Van. You get a lot of shopping carts getting pushed by all night long, and you get asked for change 13 times in 100 feet. 848,480 square foot. Property tax is $2,000 a year, and almost $310 a month for maintenance. $848,000, Steve, for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. It's crazy.
I wonder how many people that are begging for change actually own those very same units.
Nobody. I mean, those people that are begging for change, I don't think they're even allowed in some like places of business, because some of them are really bad, Steve. Like some of them are in pretty bad condition. When I'm there, I'm always heartbroken when I see. That's one of the main reasons why I left the big city, is I just couldn't see people suffer like that anymore. I just couldn't see it. The suffering is just phenomenal, and I couldn't stomach it anymore.
I hear you. I would love your input. I would love the Ravens' input because he seems like he's on the ball. I don't know who this Raven guy is, but he's definitely started to contribute to the show with respect to the comments and whatnot. I'd love for him to call in, but
Yeah.
maybe some other time. But anybody else in the comments section, I'd love to get their opinion as well. But Mike, my question is, and I really want your opinion, is we had a rate rate decision come out today.
Mhm.
Bank of Canada basically said that rates are they're holding the overnight lending rate, and their tone was changed quite a bit.
Mhm.
And I'd love to know if you think that they single-handedly today, in not so many words, indirectly opposed to directly, informed Canada or Canadians that the economic downturn is here, and we are either in or going in to a recession. I'd love for you just to comment. Is that what you got from Stephen Polaz's the discussions today? Because
Well-
I think he single-handedly confirmed that our economy is definitely receding.
Well, it's receding severely, and they've been lying about our GDP for the last, I don't know, like 2.5 years. A lot of it's been propped off foreign investing on our shores. That's been propped through the housing market via our backbone of our economy is housing, right? So it's a big problem, Steve, because we're basing it on people that don't even live here and guaranteeing that these people, because a good percentage of these homes are owned by people that don't even live in the country, and they could just walk away, like you said. We've been in a recession, Steve. Now I think we've been in a recession for easily the last 8 months now. We're going to be in a depression in another give it another maybe year, we'll be in a severe depression. And when I say severe depression, people are going to come home and find their furniture out on the sidewalk. That's how bad it's going to get.
Okay.
There's no way around it, Steve. I'm sorry. We've never in human history played with rates like we did. We've never deflated rates in the history of humankind ever, and not expect to have a recourse. We built a bubble on the 2006 bubble, and then now they want to extend the amortizations to 30 years. They want to lower interest rates, and they're looking at stress testing at 0.5%. They do that, they're just going to build another bubble on top of this bubble. And we just didn't fix the problem from 2006, 2007. And that's our problem, Steve. Canada's in a lot worse of a ride than America ever would be. Even if all the banks get bailed in from our Canadian government, not only is it going to bankrupt basically us, unless they take from us to bail in these banks. They've already lowered rates. So Steve, they don't have much to work with if they've already lowered rates. What comes next? Quantitative easing. Canada's going to have to print money and dump it into the economy to keep it going. There's the only way, Steve. There's no other way, because you can't lower rates anymore. They're too low. You can't. There's nothing more you could do. And when I say lower rates, I'm talking about 2-3%, like they did when the market crashed in 06, 07, right? They lowered rates down to like historical zeros, 0.5%.
Right.
So that's what I mean, Steve. So I'm thinking it's going to be. No. We've been in a recession for the last 8-9 months, Steve. I'm sorry. I mean, the writing's been on the wall. The numbers are always 3 to 6 months behind, anyways. And what I'm seeing is just we've been in a recession long time, man, long time. What do you think, Steve?
What do I think? Well, at this point, I think the Bank of Canada single-handedly. I want to word this correctly. The Bank of Canada today, Stephen Polaz, didn't have to come right out and say it, but he basically confirmed that our GDP or economic output and the current, our current state of the economy is obviously not very healthy.
Well, obviously not.
I think he's single-handedly confirmed that the economy is retracting. He did touch on how, we've basically had stagnant growth. For all intents and purposes, Stephen Poloz, the Bank of Canada governor, confirmed today, in not so many words, that the economy has basically has had quite the jolt. It is grinding down to a halt, for lack of a better term. And I think he's basically motioned, that the telltale signs are there, that we are going into a full-blown recession, and that will be confirmed shortly. We're less than a month away from having this quarter done, resulting in obviously further negative or stagnant growth. So that's 2 consecutive quarters, which automatically puts us into a confirmed recession. I think he's basically said it's going to be a slippery slope. We're no longer looking at just a temporary slowdown. We are looking at a receding economy, and rates cannot go up because the economy will ultimately implode. And to my point, make no mistake, the Bank of Canada has a firm grasp of how bad these loan losses are. They know that.
Matsky Bios is saying that Bank of Canada will cut rates in April. That's a very dangerous very, very dangerous move at this time. But Steve, remember when we artificially deflated rates, we didn't know what we were doing at the time, right? We just did that to make money free, right? We didn't know how much damage it would do in the long term. So it's basically a Frankenstein move. It's a monster we're building, but we don't know how to tame it now. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
Oh yeah, but they cut rates so that we wouldn't feel what the U.S. went through.
Well, we should have, and the U.S. didn't go through a full crash because they were bailed out. Because remember what they had was they had quantitative easing, Q1, Q2, remember Q3, quantitative easing 3. So QE is it's a manufacturing deception to bail out the banks is what it is, Steve. And we've never done that before because banks have always kind of stood their ground. But this second economic recovery is basically built on a phony asset bubble. And Steve, it's not working. You know what I mean? When are they going to call a spade and say, guys, you know what? The government needs to back out. Government should have been there to protect its borders and not let people launder money into the country. That's what the government should have did. And we wouldn't be in this mess we are right now.
Absolutely. And you just really hit the nail on the head. I think if this quantitative easing of whatever it ends up being, I think they're going to look at this and they are going to have to ultimately say, if we are going to bail this out, okay, and we're going to stop the bleeding and we're going to try to kickstart the economy, so on and so forth, there will be no foreign money involved. We'll have to ban foreign ownership of residential property, single-family dwellings. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It'll have to be banned outright. You want to come in and be a landlord and buy commercial buildings up? Be my guest. Not a problem. Absolutely. You want to come in and be a landlord and own, triplexes, or you want to go in and, buy apartment buildings? Hey, by all means. You know what? We'll take your money. There's a lot of people that can't afford to qualify for mortgages, that need to rent or should be renting. And you know what? Not a problem. Absolutely. Even give them a tax break. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But leave our residential real estate alone. Do not allow them to buy that.
Exactly. Look at this house, Steve. I got a house up here. It's your typical detached bungalow home. Nothing special. Speckle. I think it was built like 100 years ago. They won $1.6 million for it, and it's in Burnaby. And it was built in 1951. Annual property taxes, $8,200. Wow. It's phenomenal, Steve, what they're asking for these places. The typical Canadian proper, even at rates at historical lows, I don't think I don't know anyone that could afford this, Steve. You know, like literally, realistically afford something like this. You know,
Mike, if everybody in the comment section
mm-hmm.
went ahead and honestly commented and said right now if they could afford that, I would be surprised if even more than one or two people could actually qualify or afford to buy that hard asset.
Well, the monthly payment with 20% down, if you put down 333,000, you're paying 8,761 a month.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's too much money. Like it's that's what I'm saying, Steve. This is how bad it is. Not only are we in a recession right now, Steve, is they've been pulling the wool over our eyes for so long, playing the supply and demand card for so how many years have we been talking about supply and demand? They've been blaming it on supply and demand, and I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's affordability issue. Oh, yeah, you know, it's an affordability issue. By the way, it's like, yeah, you know?
Yeah,
Why did it take for them to get to 18 times the average income to be able to buy anything? Why did it take 18 times the average income for them to finally realize it was unaffordable?
Well, there's obviously some underlining issues there, Mike. That I mean, if we got into that tonight, I'd need an hour to go through with that with you. But in terms of my perspective, but I think it's fair to say that we're, with respect to housing as an asset class, house prices will continue to decline, and they need to decline back to a certain level where people can actually afford to qualify for it, with proportionate to their wages.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you just have an unhealthy housing market. And for people that don't know, Canada's housing market represents probably actually the biggest GDP contributor with respect to our economy. And
Australia is a big portion too, eh?
Yeah. And when that's in the tank and nothing's moving and assets aren't going up at the rate of inflation, which is a healthy amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the economy, whether you want to agree or not, the economy is receding.
Yes.
100%. The best thing, in addition to a form of quantitative easing, is yes, a lot of people will lose money on their properties. They're losing right now. They're losing every day that goes by. House prices are going to continue to decline to a certain level because a house is only worth what the market can afford and qualify for.
That's correct.
Okay? You have outside influences like foreign money from, Iran or China. You know what? You got to look at that separately. That's a separate situation altogether. I'm talking about the Canadian proper. And if they can't get bought by way of first charge mortgage, the house is not worth that.
I'm seeing this more like the banking is being used as a weapon against the middle class and defrauding the taxpayer. That's what I've seen the banking system doing, Steve.
Okay. Now,
I know those are pretty big words, but I think it's the bank the bank's being used against us as a weapon, and I think it's working because look how it's gutted all our major cities.
Well, there is absolutely an evaporation of paper wealth, and it's basically put a lot of people in the poorhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it's going to actually do is right now the government is trying to find all of these tax dollars and these tax dollars that are unaccounted for. And I think what they're going to do, and it's been said, and I know this is going to sound quite funny, a form of the quantitative easing is going to be a lot of people that have lost money with respect to the housing market.
Mm.
I think what they're going to actually do is get these houses appraised at today's rates, and look at what the house is basically, get a piece of paper from a third-party appraisal company,
Mm-hmm.
figure out how much that property's gone down, and they're going to broker some sort of a deal that Mr. and Mrs. Smith can apply for some sort of tax relief benefit. In other words, force them to file, figure out what assets they have, write a portion of the evaporated paper wealth or ethereal gains, whatever you want to call it, just so that they know exactly what Mr. and Mrs. Smith are up to.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but it could very well happen.
How are the cities going to start paying off their deficits now? The city deficits that they're going to be, because all these middle class people leaving the major cities, who's going to be paying these deficits? A lot of these foreign investors don't even pay tax. So who's going to pay these deficits off? And now with the land transfer tax not collecting any money, which we're making all these big sales, now we're not even making any sales anymore. There's so much on the market, nothing's changing hands. So who's going to, how are they going to make up this deficit of lost income? How are these cities going to do it? Are they going to implement the city tax? Or are they going to... What are they going to do, Steve? Realistically, what would they do to fix this problem? Because they're going to be at a huge deficit.
There will be some sort of a city tax. They will raise property taxes one way or another, and it has been suggested that the principal residence exemption that you get for your house or so on and so forth, they may play with that. They may say, well, it's no longer 100%. We're going to give you 80%. They have to do something in order to recover some of this revenue, because otherwise, your garbage is only going to get picked up once a month,
if that. And they're going to be starting to tax the hell out of. That's why they want these carbon credits, these carbon taxes. That's why they want carbon taxes, because it's good for the revenue. It's free revenue, right? Because you're paying for something that's not there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
Imagine, I'm going to tax you like 2% on every extra blah, blah, blah. And even though we can't prove it, we're just going to tax you on a hunch, Steve. And you're going to pay it, and there's nothing you can do about it, Steve. And that's how it works.
Yeah, that's... I get where you're coming from. You also have to remember, Mike, as house prices come down, the value of the house comes down. And as property taxes are reassessed, all of a sudden, house prices aren't worth 2017 values anymore.
Right, then they're going to have to raise property tax to make up the deficits.
Right, because if the house is worth less, all of a sudden, property taxes come down as well. It's a slippery slope.
Like, I was looking at a house here. The property taxes were $13,000 a year for a detached bungalow. It was like $13,000 a year. Like, I'm trying to find it now. It's like $13,000 for property tax. Like, really? I think it was this little house. Yeah, there's a tiny 2-bedroom house here for like $1.2 million. I think it's like 300 square feet. Let me see here. No, property taxes. Oh, Steve! They got the 2017 property taxes here. They're not even putting 2018 property taxes.
Yeah, so they're still collecting on that. So the smartest thing that individual could do is apply to MPAC, like the municipal property tax, whatever it is out there. We call it MPAC here in Ontario. Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. I believe that's what it stands for. Anyways, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They can apply to have the house reevaluated for today's house prices.
This is a nice one here for $1.2 million. It's nice.
Have an indoor pool?
It has nothing. It's like 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $1.2 million.
I don't want
Oh my God, it's in Surrey too. Oh man. Oh man. All right, let's see what else we got here. Like,
no,
yeah.
Garrett, I don't have Facebook. I don't have time for Facebook.
Dude,
But
I
apparently,
thought we were friends, dude.
yeah, and you know what? Mike, we are friends. I don't have time to go online and poke you.
I'm joking, dude. I'm just breaking you, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking at this. The entire Lower Mainland is pretty much a disaster, right up to Hope. Right up to Hope, and the Kelowna's crashing right now. You heard right earlier in the show.
Yeah, I hear that that's not doing too well either. And keep in mind, Toronto is going to follow suit. We will absolutely follow suit. We're just a little bit behind. And remember, we had that conversation, Mike, because it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you this much: there needs to be a complete overhaul, even on the tax system, a complete, utter 360, erase it, reinvent the wheel. It would if you didn't tax people. Imagine this, Mike. We talked about this before. If you didn't tax people on the first $50,000 that they made, zero, nada. Okay. Imagine what that would do for the economy. Imagine what that would do for how many businesses that would say, "Oh, really? Okay, you mean I don't have to pay this guy 80, 90 grand a year because he's getting the crap taxed out of him, and he's only bringing home 50 grand a year, 60 grand a year? You mean I really just only have to pay him 50 grand, and he's going to come to work with bells on, and he's going to produce for me? Yeah, you know what? I'll take that deal.
Yeah.
No problem."
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. But the thing is, they wouldn't do that. You know how they could do that, Steve? I already talked about this like a couple of years ago. Actually, I made a video on how they could help small businesses. Instead of forwarding all your PST, you have to forward your PST you collect, right? Sometimes, depending on what your income is and how your levels of debt, or like what the company is producing and how small the business is, sometimes some companies should be PST exempt. Collect a PST legally, but exempt it because you're not making enough, but you still make quite a bit of money off the PST. I know some companies that are barely scratching by, and they're paying $6,000-$7,000 a month in PST, dude. And if they could pocket half of that, they could be in a pretty good position. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
Right. No, I hear you.
So there's ways that they could alleviate, because that's provincial sales tax, not federal. So the provincial sales tax, if they were a little bit softer with it, right? But you guys have HST. Let's say they give you back half. They let you retain half your your HST if you not making enough money, or your company's not that powerful. Your company's not that strong. So they let you keep 50% of your HST, right? That would be good,
Right.
wouldn't it, Steve?
Be great.
Yeah. And that would help grow businesses and hire more people. But they would never do that. That's how simple it is to implement. It's just that. They don't even have to apply for anything, and just, this is how much we make. This is our deposits. This is what it adds up to. Oh, okay, so we'll give you a PST exemption of 70%. Oh, you qualify for 20% this year.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's a good way of looking at it. There's a number of different things that are going to have to be dealt with. All signs point that we're going to get a new government, in about 8 months' time. I don't know how Trudeau, I don't want to get political tonight. I don't know how Trudeau can come back from this, but all signs point that we are going to get a new government, and we'll see what they do. Right now, Andrew Scheer's, said that, we're going to take the tax off your heating bill. That's huge. But he's got to try to do a little more. And I said this once before: the Conservatives will win the election if they do exactly what Doug Ford is doing in Ontario, saying the first $30,000, if you make $30,000 or less, you will not pay income tax on the provincial portion. Mm-hmm. You will only pay the federal portion.
Yeah.
If the federal government, if the Conservatives say, yeah, we'll do the same thing, not a problem, they've won the election.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah. Well, we'll get into the whole political side on Mike in the Night and find out what's going on politically with Canada, where it's headed. I know it's headed to hell in a handbasket. I should get Faith Goldie on the show, because she's been popping up on a lot of YouTube channels. And I'd like to get her on the show and see what's going on her end. And she's more on anti-immigration and protecting Canada's sovereignty. And even the people that are immigrants that are here, like myself, we want Canada protected. We don't want open borders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, open borders is just going to cause the problems we are going to see. Forget about the economic, impact on it. Just for healthcare alone, public health. I mean, these people are coming into the country, and they haven't been properly screened.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what they're bringing in.
Nope. And when my dad came into Canada, oh man, it was an English test. It was a history test of Canada. It was, man, they did everything: a health test, physical examination, tetanus shots. It was just like nonstop, dude.
Oh, sure it was. And that's just, that is the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not knocking. I think it's great. But right now we have an outbreak in Vancouver of measles.
Yeah. Yep, and where'd it come from? Nobody knows, right? It's just hard to track. Because if everyone's immunized, why would there be an outbreak?
No, they know where it came from. There was an infant under the age of 1,
Mm-hmm.
Traveled outside of the country, outside of North America. I'm not going to say where, because I don't want to be a racist. And next thing you know, this poor infant child is battling measles.
Wow. Sucks.
It's not good. But that said, Mike, is there anything else you'd like to go over?
No, we got everything. Did you watch my video today? I did a few videos today.
I certainly did, Mike. I think it's great. I'm, props to the guy that's up a few bucks there, and I hopefully he comes out on top. And you know what? I'm sure more stories like that will come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, will be able to capitalize on real estate that people need to get out of Dodge, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not foreign buyers that are now virtually insolvent because they can't get the money out of their country.
Yeah.
It's not just that. It's other people will need to sell. There are going to be some write-downs, some write-offs, some bankruptcies and foreclosures. This is going to end badly for so many people.
Yeah. Okay, Stevie, thanks so much for being on the show tonight. I really appreciate your input on what's going on and what you think or what you feel is going to happen. I appreciate that very much. And we'll keep in touch sometime. Call me through the week if you get some time. And hopefully we'll see you on Mike of the Night if you're not tired. We'll get you on a 4-way call.
I'm looking forward to it. So good to be with you. Take care, Mike.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. All right, that's my man Stevie. Okay, guys, we're approaching the second hour. I am going to shut her down. I got my family visiting, and I haven't seen my family in a while, so we're going to go see my mom and dad, spend some time with the family. We already had dinner, and I'm going to go upstairs and Low Rose Scratcher, Mike Martin, should Canada propose lottery tax winning? Nah. They shouldn't. The jackpots are sometimes big, but it's not enough to tax to actually make revenue. It's not worth it. People play more and proper. To play the lottery is a lot of money already, so they're making a lot of money off that already off the bat, right? Okay, guys, in the comment section, thank you so much, guys. Like I said, if you want to support this transmission, go to the original Mike Martin's channel. Find a video you like. I don't care which one. Share something from me, please. Let's get my shares up. I do have my shares up, actually. I went to check my shares today. I usually check my channel once a month to see the analytics. And I was very happy to see that I had over 2,000 shares in the last month. There you go, guys. I'm over 3 million views here on the channel. I'm really concerned about my Australia stuff pretty much getting removed. Australia was the most viewed country that was viewing me for many years, and it dropped to right after Indonesia on the list of watch minutes. It's like my watch time went down substantially because Australia. And I don't think people are not watching me in Australia. I think it's more than that. I think there's something happening in Australia where they want to shut down anybody that goes against the status quo there. So Australia might be an interesting topic to talk about what's happening with the free speech, or how things are regulated there when it comes to talking about things openly. Anyways, Raven says, if you get too big, Mike, YouTube will shut you down. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, Steve the Plumber in the comments. Okay, guys, don't forget to join me this Saturday night for Mike in the Night. I want to know from you guys. I want to move Mike in the Night to Sunday nights because spring is just around the corner, and I want to be doing things on Saturday night with the family and dinners and other stuff and parties. So yeah, I might move Mike in the Night in the spring, like after my new baby's born. I might move Mike in the Night to Sundays now. I think Sundays is better because more people are home. I think a lot of people don't have much going on Sunday if it's a long weekend. So, yeah. Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Mark III is saying Sunday works. So I'm going to put a poll up on the channel. Look out for it and vote. Anyways, my 2 hours are up, guys. I am going to check the family out. Share something. Support the channel by sharing something. And let me know what you guys think. And God bless. And look forward to you on Saturday night.